Welcome back.
Welcome.
I know it's been a minute since we've been on here, but we've been busy.
We've been real busy, man.
A lot of life experiences going on here.
I swear.
So we're back though.
How you
Hopefully.
been, White Bread?
I've been good. I've been doing good. Had a good holiday season.
Happy holidays to everybody out there.
Happy
y'all.
holidays,
Hope
everybody.
everybody being safe.
It's always a little hectic during the holidays, and always a little bittersweet for me. Just
Yeah.
just because of things. But that's just the way it is now.
Yeah.
So how's everything going? How's everything going with you? Let me clip on my mic here.
Wait.
How's everything going with you?
Well, man, I'm gonna tell you something. I can't complain. Things could be a lot worse. And I always say this. Somebody's always in a worse shape than me. So who am I to complain? I'm just living life like the rest of us. And I miss y'all too. You know what I'm saying? Everybody been leaving comments on the Instagram and on our TikTok. And by the way, follow us on Instagram, TikTok. Y'all,
Yeah.
look us up.
Look us up.
And appreciate everybody who been hitting that like button and still sharing some of the older videos and some of the older shorts.
Yep.
But we've been really behind the scenes trying to get ready for y'all. We got a big presidential push coming up next year, and people are worried about a lot in our society.
A lot of things have happened since we've been on the air. So
Yeah. What you got up for us first though today, man? We gonna dive right on it. That's all right with y'all.
well, I mean, we were talking a little bit off the air, and we were talking about Trump. Obviously, everyone's talking about Trump.
Shout out
There's
Trump,
a lot
baby.
of stuff going on. Yeah, you can shout him out if you want to. And I asked you a question, given that Trump's, out on bail in 4 different counties, and he's facing 91 charges spanned across 4 different trials. Is he, qualified
That's
to run
a lot too, boy.
for
91
president?
charges.
Is he qualified to run for president? And I think we've seen a couple of states now, Colorado and Maine, that have taken him off the ballot.
Right. Shout out
Because,
Colorado and Maine, y'all. We gonna keep it real.
They cited the 14th Amendment, and the 14th Amendment clearly states that the 14th Amendment was enacted right after the Civil War, where there was still a lot of people who were on, didn't know who was on each other's side. So what they did was they created this amendment to the Constitution that said U.S. officials who take an oath to uphold the Constitution are disqualified from holding future office if they engaged in insurrection or have given aid or comfort to insurrectionists. So, given that, I think what Colorado and Michigan are pointing at here is the amount of people that have been convicted under this Insurrection Act. Proud Boys members, Oath Keepers. They have a lot of evidence. That's why Trump's been charged. And we'll get into Trump's charges now. He's got, again, like I said, started out.
We ain't gonna do all 91.
We're not going to run through all the charges, but we're just going to break down, he has 91 charges across 4 criminal cases. 44 federal charges, and he has 47 state charges.
Right.
Okay, so all of them are felonies. Every single one is a felony. Okay. Trump, of course, denied wrongdoing because that's what he does. It's always a hoax. It's always a witch hunt.
It's fake news.
But the problem when you sit in a courtroom and you have to tell the truth and you can't say whatever you want,
Yeah.
then it becomes, oh, well, did you actually do what they're saying? Well, you need to say that, you need to prove that you didn't. Okay. Just like the prosecution has to prove that you did, and that's why they convene grand juries, and they basically convene a jury of people. If people don't understand what a grand jury is and how the whole process works, and they convene a jury just like you would in a criminal charge, and they present all the evidence that they have to the grand jury, and then the grand jury decides if there's enough evidence to proceed with a criminal case.
Right.
And that's what they did in all of these cases. They've all been, I'm pretty sure all but by a grand jury. He has 4 charges in the January 6th case, 40 charges in the classified documents case, 34 charges in the New York falsifying business records case, which he's already been found guilty on that. They're just figuring out the penalty at this point. And then he has 13.
So the jury's already found him guilty in that. That's what you're saying?
That's the trial where he's saying, "Oh, I don't have a jury," and blah 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 blah. Well, your own defense team checked that you didn't want a jury trial. So I mean, you can't complain that you don't have a jury trial when your own defense team indicated to the court that they didn't want a jury. So that's what they checked, that box they checked when the type of trial they preferred. So they just gave them what they wanted. And, because with Trump, to survive a appeal, unfortunately, you have to just kind of let him be a little baby, act however he wants, or he'll just appeal it to death, because he has endless people donating millions of dollars to him, who he just turns around and uses for all these legal fees. So I guess he needs his supporters to keep donating because he's got a lot of legal fees coming up. He's also got 13 charges in this Georgia case, which many of his co-conspirators have already taken a plea and pleaded guilty and decided to actually, turn evidence in, which isn't good for Trump. So there's a lot of things that are going wrong for Trump, and the party of law and order is supposed to be the GOP, and it just seems like the leader of the GOP is not about law and order at all.
Well, I'm gonna say this.
So hypocritical.
You can call me what you want, but I'm gonna say this.
I didn't say anything about you.
And even still, and I hope everybody who gives us their time to watch this, they all can leave it in the comment whether they agree or disagree. But until you found guilty in a court of law, until you can actually say, oh, he's a felon.
Yeah.
Until that time comes, then it's just all smoke and mirrors and it's all talk. Because
Well, how can you say that though?
that's
is it
my
smoke and mirrors
opinion.
when
That is my opinion. Until he's found guilty.
even after I just said how they presented the evidence to a grand jury.
Until the judge gavel goes down and says that you are found guilty
Okay.
and hereby whatever the situation gonna be
Yep.
to go with that hereby.
Okay.
Until the gavel slaps and it's
Yep.
official.
Yep.
It's just all talk.
Okay.
And we can all assume
That's fine.
with our personal feelings and whatnot because
I agree. It has nothing to do with my personal feelings. I
Because-
wasn't on the grand juries that said that there was enough evidence to do charges on him.
None of us were.
I'm just saying is there was
None
people
of us were.
there was people that actually listened to the evidence and was like, yeah, you got enough.
Hey.
This isn't a witch hunt.
Hey,
This is evidence.
It's fine, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait and hold my honest opinion of everything until he's found guilty on one. They got 91 shots.
Well, I just told you
they got 91 shots to find that
Hold on.
man guilty.
I just told you that
So-
they've already found him guilty on the New York one.
Well,
They're
I
just
haven't
figuring out
heard.
the penalty
I
for it
haven't
now.
heard him be presumed guilty.
No, the judge already said that he was guilty. They're just doing the penalty phase now, figuring out how much he's actually gonna get fined. And
But-
if he's
but
gonna
if
be able
he-
to do business
if
anymore,
he's
and
going to just
this
get
isn't
fined,
this isn't a criminal case. This is a
then I
civil
do
case.
know one thing about this good old American judicial system. Yeah, they probably came up with a way for him to plead to a lesser crime, like they always do. I guess these things could be considered white collar crime.
They didn't.
know.
No, he didn't plead to anything. They just found him guilty by the evidence.
Okay, well, if they found him guilty, until I see a felony or the word felon next to his name when I Google him, he's just like the regular rest of us citizens who try to abide by the law and not get caught up.
I'm glad
we
that
ain't,
you-
we
I'm
ain't,
gonna-
we
I
ain't
hope
got
you-
we ain't got nothing on our name. Shout out to everybody whose name's still good.
I wanna ask you a question then quickly. Now that you feel a certain way about people being innocent until they're found guilty,
Right.
How do you feel about Hunter Biden?
Until he's found guilty in a court of law.
What do you think about the charges that they put on him?
Well, I'm like this. I believe from the get-go he had already done something he had no business. Even if it was, how many people have gotten caught up on tax evasion
What
and
has he been
things of that
charged
nature?
with? Like what did he plead? What did he already plead? Like what was the thing that they charged him with first? Do you know what it was?
It was the tax evasion thing, right?
No, the thing that they charged him with first was that he lied when he bought a gun, saying that he didn't do drugs.
Okay, well, why would you lie? My grandmother always told me if a person lying, you got something to hide. You worried about the consequences if you lie.
Do me and you maybe know some people who might have done the same thing when they purchased a firearm?
That's neither here nor there.
I'm
'cause
just asking
I don't
a
know
broad
any of those
question.
people. Everybody I know are law-abiding, gun-owning citizens. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying?
All right,
So I
that's
wouldn't
fair.
know any of those people.
Okay, all right. I'm glad that I know people. I know people that might say own guns and also smoke and also smoke weed. which is you know, the
Glad
same
I don't
thing
know
they-
them people.
Same thing they charge Hunter Biden with. So I'm just saying is that's all that they could come up with after all this time was after the laptop and all this. All that they could come up with was, yeah, he lied on this application when he bought a gun, saying that he wasn't taking drugs, and there's evidence of him taking drugs at that time. So that's what they charge him with. So I'm just saying is it seems like a petty crime to charge somebody with. Just for the sake of charging somebody with something. He's already paid the taxes, like the tax evasion. He's already paid that bill back. Like
Yeah.
he already paid the money back, so they don't have anything there. And then but he should, you know, they shouldn't be saying that. They shouldn't be calling Biden. It shouldn't be the Biden crime family. No one in Biden's, including Joe Biden, has ever been even charged with a crime.
Well, once again,
I'm just saying.
and I'm gonna say
what's
this
good for one side, it should be good for the
on the
other.
behalf of folks like Wesley Snipes and Ronald Isley. Those are the two. Who
Why are you talking about half of Hunter
immediate-
Biden?
Hold on, man. Let me finish my thought, man.
I wasn't talking
Don't
about Wesley
interrupt.
Snipes.
Don't interrupt me. Wesley Snipes them got caught up on tax evasion, and they tried to pay it back, but they still went to jail. Because just like Doc
What does
Rich,
that have to do with
oh,
this?
look, shout out to Doc Rich podcast. Doc Rich said one thing that I definitely agree with. He
I
said,
think
you
you're
can't
bullshitting
go and
right
rob
there.
a bank.
I'm gonna call bullshit
You
on that-
can't go
on that
rob a
Wesley
bank.
Snipes.
Let me finish my thought, please.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
You can't go rob a bank and then come back and try to get the money back and expect nothing to happen. Because you still committed a crime from the get-go. So if Hunter Biden committed that crime, okay. Shit, they really want other charges to go against him. Those things, they going to have to prove it. I'm not going to crucify the man and say he's completely guilty on all allegations. But those few little things, whatever he does choose to plead guilty to, and the other thing with the tax evasion, if that comes back up to bite him in the ass because you did, whether you paid the money back or not, that's neither here nor there. You know? And the same goes with Trump. If you've been practicing shady business deals up there in New York and it comes back to bite you in the ass, bro, I believe he's a stand-up guy. I believe he's going to take the charge. He ain't going to have no other choice. And that goes for down in Georgia. That goes for up in Washington and wherever else the other charges at. You know? But, I mean, my whole thing is we, the American people, we still deserve better. Out of all of this Broadway play that we're seeing play out as supposed to be our political system, man, we deserve better. We pay taxes. People down here still fucked up, struggling, and people are complaining because we ain't getting nothing. Looks like we are not, at least on paper. I know I ain't getting no extra support out here. Ain't nobody giving me nothing. They want to say how many jobs are available. I have applied for 75 in the last 2 days and still can't get one. But, you know, I do see a spot on these applications now that are asking, are you, immigrant and everything, because
They've always asked that.
Joe Biden has held 36,000 jobs. Y'all fact check me on that, but I do believe I read he has 36,000 jobs across the U.S. that are being held specifically for those individuals. So, you know, tell me why I have to come second as being a taxpayer over the last 35 plus years of my life. You know, I got to come second. So, you know, I can't ride with that one, white bread. I mean, you know, all of them got to pay their fair share. And if you're owning up to it, own up to it. That's all I can say. It's time to man up. We're in the age of manning up and womaning up on whatever you do with your life. If you choose to be a fool and throw your life away, you got to give an account, you know. But I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going on and on. But, you know, it just feel good to be back on the Wheat and White Bread, man, podcast.
All right,
man.
well, you got your chance to talk for a minute. So
Go
first
ahead.
thing I'm going to say is, I looked into the Wesley Snipes thing,
Yeah.
just because that was one of your talking points where you got really, passionate about.
He went to jail,
Hunter
right,
Biden.
for tax evasion,
Okay,
right?
well, Wesley Snipes didn't file taxes for 3 years. He owed $7 million. Mm-hmm. He got found guilty. Went to appeal, lost his appeal, and chose to go to jail instead of paying $7 million. So, I don't know what you're talking about as far as him saying he would pay the money back. He never offered to pay the money back. He got found guilty, went to appeal, lost the appeal.
My
accepted the
point,
judgment
my
against him.
only point was
Okay.
with the whole thing
Don't
was
interrupt me.
if the man,
Don't interrupt me.
if the
Don't
man
interrupt
had
me.
a tax
I let
evasion
you talk.
issue
Don't
like
let me-
Hunter Biden, if Wesley Snipes and
wasn't
Ronald
like Hunter
Isley can go to jail, so can he.
I just said it wasn't like Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden paid the money back. Okay, so that's neither here nor there. You can
Right,
say
right,
whatever
right.
you want, whatever. I'm just telling you that Wesley Snipes, it's not the same. Okay. Okay. Second thing is, you said that Joe Biden was holding 36,000 jobs for
The immigrants.
illegals,
Right.
for immigrants that are coming. First of all, let me state that I don't feel, this is just my personal opinion, that any human being is illegal. That's just me. Okay, so other than that, and if you think people are illegal, then I don't know, but that's just, I don't know how you define that. But organizers demand in Chicago. I don't know how he's holding all these jobs when there's organizers demanding, this is from 2 days ago, organizers demand Biden issue work permits for eligible Mexican families. So I don't know where all these 36,000 jobs are, where there's people begging him to issue work permits so people can actually go to work. So that's one thing that I'm going to say about that. The other thing that we were going to talk about, and I mean, we got off of Trump quick, so let's circle back to Trump, because that's what a typical Trumpers do. They try to subvert and deflect and get off the topic. We're not talking about Joe Biden right now. We were talking about Donald Trump being eligible to be president. And all I said was that, there's a lot of people that have pled guilty, people who are his ex-lawyers who have pled guilty in these cases where he's charged with the same exact crimes as they were charged with. And he's had a lot of people plead guilty, and he's had a lot of Oath Keepers and Proud Boys who he told to stand back and stand by get convicted of seditious conspiracy and are serving 15 to 20 years in jail for it. Now, if Trump had anything to do with that, if they have evidence that Trump had anything to do with that, if people are already in jail for 20 years, like you said, what's fair is fair. You were just saying what's fair for Wesley Snipes and Ronald Easley should be fair for Hunter Biden. Well, don't you think it's fair if he gets convicted of the same charges these people that are serving 15 to 20 years in jail for? If he gets convicted with the same charges that they get convicted of, with all fair being fair, shouldn't he go to jail for 20 years too?
Trump?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
If Donald Trump is found guilty and they choose to throw the book at him, absolutely.
Well, shouldn't he just? I mean,
he got
fair.
He got the man up on him.
I mean, fair being fair, shouldn't it just be what the other people got?
No.
Why? Why should he be treated
Because
differently?
I do know some people end up saying one thing just to get the lesson.
I'm talking about the people that got convicted and are serving 20 years.
Yeah, okay. I want to see how many years they're going to actually do.
They got convicted to 20. I don't know how many they're actually going to do, but their convictions, what they got sentenced to, were 20 years.
And they all have felonies now.
They got seditious conspiracy. That's one of the top felonies that you can get convicted of. Obviously, they're going to jail for 20 years for it. Well, it's a serious felony.
But we're talking about Trump. We're not talking about them.
I just said what's fair is fair.
Because I'm like this. If that's the case, then why isn't he already? No, my question is, why isn't he already found guilty?
Because he hasn't gone to trial yet.
No, because he ain't took a plea deal.
He hasn't. No, they didn't take a plea deal. They've just gone to trial already, and they've done their trial, and they've been convicted.
So Giuliani has already been found guilty on that.
I'm talking about the January 6th things. This is why he got taken off the ballot. We were talking about the January 6th seditious conspiracy. Why Colorado and Maine took him off the ballot was because they feel like because all of these other people have been convicted now. He just hasn't gone to trial yet. They've already gone to trial. They've already had their day in court. The evidence was presented against them, and they got found guilty. And now they're in jail for, I don't know how many, let's see, how many people let me guess, I'm sorry, folks, let me just do this quick. Convicted of seditious conspiracy.
What's that number look like, White Bread?
What?
The people who got convicted. What that number look
Well, right now there's just 2 articles at 4 Proud Boys and 4 Oath Keepers, so that's 8 people right there.
So those 8 were a part of Donald Trump, though.
Yes, they're linked to they're linked to the Proud Boys and they're linked to the Oath Keepers.
But how is that directly tying into Donald Trump?
Because when he was planning January 6th, before that, he had made multiple statements where he directed the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers with his own voice to stand back and to stand by.
He gave them direction and told them what to do.
He said, he's actually words out of his mouth. Proud Boys, stand back and stand back and stand by. That was at a press conference. So I mean, he said this is why he's been charged too. Like this isn't like a. They're not. First of all, if anybody thinks that the government or anybody else who's charged Donald Trump took it lightly that they were going to actually charge him with a crime, you're crazy. That's why it took so long, because they want to make sure they had all their I's dotted and all their T's crossed, because they know that he's going to come at them with all kind of conspiracy theories. He's going to be saying, that's why he has so many gag orders, because he can't just stop not saying conspiracy. He still says the election was stolen. To this day, he still says that thing that's been proven a lie so many times. Like he went to court 60 times.
How many people have you heard say that they feel like New England cheated to win the Super Bowl when their team got beat by y'all? Still to this day. I'm one of them. When y'all beat us, that game was taken and robbed from us. That's my opinion.
Hold on. So
I will always say
I want to answer one question. Then did Bill Belichick make Don McNabb throw with 3 picks?
I'm just telling you my opinion.
I'm just asking.
With the way the referees,
is that a question?
With the way the referees called the game.
Hold on. Stop it.
I'm making that point. We're not gonna stray away from Trump. I'm using that to say, for people who still hold to their beliefs, you can't get mad because the man feel like that shit was stolen. If that's how he feels, that's how he feels. But, and people get mad when this man feels this way.
Because it's a lie. It's a lie, man.
That's all of our own individual opinions, and that's fine.
You have no evidence to back up. You have no okay. You want to go back to Philly versus New England? Philly had the ball, driving to win the game. And Donovan McNabb threw his 3rd pick of the game. That's not the Patriots' fault. Donovan McNabb threw the ball to Rodney Harrison. That's it. That's the history of the game. If he didn't throw the pick and he threw a touchdown pass instead, Philly would have won the game. No matter what the referees did before that or however you feel about it, Philly had the ball to try to win the game, and they couldn't. And this guy's still saying that it's the Patriots' fault that Donovan McNabb threw his 3rd pick to end the Super Bowl. Well, somehow that's the Patriots' fault.
All I'm
just
saying
like
is
all
people.
These charges are everybody
else's
fault but Trump's fault.
People will still have their feelings because that's just a part of living.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, you can still have your feelings, bro.
And if Trump feels that he was cheated,
stolen?
In my opinion, I could care less because I didn't vote either way.
Okay.
So
then you don't.
But I will be voting in this upcoming election.
It
don't matter who I'm voting for. That's my prerogative.
Oh, you can vote for whoever you want, man.
Right.
People vote against their own interests.
I'm going to vote. I'm going to vote for.
I'm
voting for Dave Chappelle for president.
People vote against their own interests.
I'm voting for Dave Chappelle for president.
Millions and millions of people do it every election. But again, okay, so we're going to move on now because we've been talking about Trumpy for a little too long.
Don't worry, y'all. 2024, we going to pick it all the way up.
He doesn't deserve this much time. He's a criminal. He's a liar. He's a con man. He's a joke. He's a sexual offender. He's been convicted of that.
Allegedly.
No, he was convicted by.
So he's on file. So all of this public record.
He got found guilty in the civil case. Means he had to pay the woman $5 million.
But you calling him a sex offender like
he got paid? Well, he got found.
Come on,
guilty.
man, you can't do it like that. He
got found guilty of sexual assault in a civil case where a jury found him guilty, and he had to pay the woman almost $5 million.
Is he or is he not on file as a sexual offender? Yes or no?
It didn't go to criminal case.
All right, so if he's not a criminal, then
you have double standards, man. You have crazy.
How is that crazy?
How morally bankrupt does a person have to be for you to say that they
Because we are all living in America, right, Jack? You are in America. You are innocent until proven guilty.
I'm telling you, he's proven guilty. You stop saying that. He's proven guilty.
So is he a criminal?
Oh my God, dude, you have low standards.
Bro. I say, is he a criminal?
You have low standards for a person who you.
I'm just asking, bro.
Extremely low standards, bro. You have extremely low standards for someone who you want to be the leader of the country that you live in. Like extremely low. And I'll say that about everyone who's still with Trump because he's a low person, man. Well, I put so many videos up on my TikTok at Speak the Truth.
The only thing I say about the people who vote, whether you vote Trump, Biden, or whoever else they choose to put on the ballot, that's your fucking choice.
Oh, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you still
standards. That's a fact.
Hey, November 6th, when you know the good Lord keep us here and we open up our eyes November 6th of next year, you still got to pay taxes, pay rent. You still got to go to work. You still got to provide for your family. So for everything that comes outside of that immediate
Okay.
Life.
So you're gonna deflect to it. It really doesn't matter. So
I won't say
why
it.
did we talk about it for so
I
long?
won't say it don't matter.
We won't even talk about it anymore. So okay. So let's move on.
You know,
Let's
damn.
move on. There's no point in talking.
We all know how you feel. We all know how you feel about Trump, white bread. Ain't nothing wrong with
How
that.
do you feel about him? You love him.
Yeah, I definitely don't love Joe Biden.
You love him.
Yeah, I definitely don't love
Well,
Broadway
How
Joe.
about this? How about this? I'll give you till next show. Next show we're going to talk about Biden because we don't have time. We got to move on. But I want you to think really hard and come back with something that you disagree with that Joe Biden's done. Don't talk about it now. A specific policy that he's passed that you disagree with, I want you to come back with it and we'll talk about it. And then I'm going to come back with all the policies that I agree with and the effect that they're having on the economy right now as it sits. And then we can talk about it. So then we can also talk about things that I disagree with that Trump did. We can talk about that too. So stay tuned, folks. We got a lot more to talk about this.
I'm on his ass too, y'all. Watch me.
He doesn't bring any facts. He just says what.
I'm gonna have my laptop like how he over here typing. I'm gonna have mine when we have the next show,
Yep.
and I'm gonna make sure I do exactly that.
Yep, okay.
So y'all stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right. Now we're gonna move on to how does everyone feel? And this is a totally different topic, but how does everyone feel about these AI? These robots and stuff. Like I gotta tell you, like a few years back, I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast.
Shout out Joe Rogan.
Habitually, I like his podcast because he has a lot of interesting people on, and one of the most interesting people that he's had on there that I know of is this guy named Lex Friedman. And Lex Friedman is an MIT scientist. He runs like some kind of department. He's one of the most intelligent people in the whole world, really.
Right.
And he talked about AI.
What's his name again?
Lex Friedman.
Y'all look him up now.
Look. I mean, he's been on Joe Rogan's podcast multiple times. Just go to Joe Rogan's podcast, search his name. He's been on there. I don't know, probably 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 times. So,
right.
I mean, the guy is super intelligent. He's friends with Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan has one of those jobs where he just becomes friends with a lot of really fucking interesting people. Like he has like a very distinct job where he gets to meet a lot of people. With his UFC background and the Fear Factor stuff, and how many celebrities does that guy know? Like, imagine what his phone looks like when you scroll through his phone list. Like, how many famous people are on there?
That Rolodex,
crazy, dude.
Hey, that might be a $10 billion Rolodex.
I swear to God, it might be.
I'm telling you,
that dude knows everybody when you really think about it. But get back to the AI. Lex Friedman has a fatalistic attitude when it comes to AI and when it comes to its capability. And what I mean by that is he's like, eventually we're just going to have to join them because we're not going to be able to beat them.
Right.
And this guy's one of the most intelligent people when it comes to this stuff. So one of these stories that I want to talk about is this Tesla. What everyone's talking about is this Tesla robotic arm attacked.
Did you see how tall the damn robot was? That was about 6'3".
Well, it was a 3 robot arm. Like there's a picture of it right here. So we're looking at it. There's 3 arms. It's a pretty crazy looking device.
Right.
And what they said was the guy was doing a software update of some kind. There's 3 arms that are on this machine. Only 2 of them were shut down for some reason. He was doing a software update. The arm moved, pinned him up against the wall, and closed its hand to the point where it busted the guy's skin, caused some damage, broke skin. The guy fell down a trash chute. Got the blood trail.
He Wayne Braided his ass. He reached back and slapped his ass.
Well, the thing is, now the people are asking the question is because like this isn't the first time that one of these like robotic arms has actually had an incident with people malfunctioned. But the thing about Tesla that's different from all these other places that have these arms is they have this humanoid robot named Optimus. We're gonna call him Optimus Prime. But Optimus Prime runs the show.
I like Optimus Prime.
The coordination of the Teslas being built.
Right.
So as the cars are going down the line, there's this humanoid robot that controls all the robotic arms that assemble the car, I guess. I don't really know that much about it. I'm going to figure out a little bit more about it, folks. But that's what I got from the little bit of research that I did about it. And the question is, did Optimus Prime attack? Or was it just simply a malfunction? Now, if this thing's really being controlled by a humanoid robot, why did the robotic arm attack the guy?
Well,
I mean that's the question.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say this. You know, we grew up and we saw Terminator, the first Terminator.
We've seen
So,
we've seen
you know, we seen,
iRobot. We've seen a
yeah.
lot of movies that depict
So,
robots killing us.
So I'm here to tell you, you know, I forgot the name of the robot, but I know they had them both up, and the people were posing questions, and I think y'all fact check me, but I
Those are
believe that
scary videos.
the robot said that their main goal was to exterminate humanity.
Well,
You know.
Well, did you hear the last one that said that in the future that they see, because robots are faster, smarter,
And
everything
stronger
than humans and stronger, that the robots are actually going to be in charge, and all the humans that are left on Earth are going to be their slaves.
Ooh, I did hear that.
Did you? See
And
that
I also
one?
remember a guy on TikTok, I think he said, well, hell, if that's what it's going to be coming to, then we're going to have laser guns to be able to compete with those goddamn robots. Because them bullets going to bounce off of them, especially they
First
made
of
with
all, I don't even
titanium
wanna- I
alloy.
don't even want to think about what that war would look like, because
Whew.
we do have a lot of toys to fight back with. Obviously, we have a lot of guns in this country, and the U.S. military and all the other armed services collectively around the world have a lot of toys to play with that have nothing to do with like computers, as far as guns and rocket launchers and all kind of the stuff that's controlled by computers.
Right.
Hopefully, they don't infiltrate that and turn that shit against us, because then we're really.
Keyword, hopefully.
Hopefully, they don't infiltrate our military and take over everything that's controlled by computers, because then they'll be flying drones at us, and we're done.
Yeah.
We don't stand a chance. So, but it's something that people should keep an eye on, because we need to really keep a tight collar on this stuff, because it can get out of control really fast. The AI has an ultra high ability to learn, and it's already learning a lot about us through our phones and through our computers and through our internet interactions. It learns. It's learning. It knows more about you than I know about you. It knows more about me than you know about me.
Right.
It might know more about me than I know about me. I mean, I don't know, because it's keeping track of you. People say, "Oh, I don't want a chip." Well, you better not have a phone, because that phone's a chip.
Yeah.
It's just not attached to you. But most of the time it is. It's in your hand or it's in your pocket. So
True.
It might not be under your skin, but it's fucking attached.
Yeah. Absolutely. However you try to look at it.
It tracks all your movements. It knows where you go. Google Maps can predict where you're going to go next. How many times have you got in your driveway to come here, and it told you, hey, 26 minutes to 167 gauge drive?
Yeah.
Like my when I get in my car, sometimes, like when I'm going to the same job site every single day, when I was going to that job site 3 days a week, I was helping out Greg and his buddies. I would get in my car every single day at the same time. Well, after about a week, the following week on that Tuesday, when I got in my car at 8:10, started my car, plugged my phone in, Google Maps automatically popped up 42 minutes to the address that I was going to.
Yeah, it knows if you're stopping for coffee every morning.
Like, it's crazy, man.
Starbucks is 6 miles away.
Think about how now this is a really scary thought, but think about how effective they would be at killing us, knowing we know where they know where we are at all times.
True that.
I mean, they could just be like, hey, Joanne's gonna be at Starbucks at 8 o'clock in the morning. If you want to take her out, she'll be in the drive-thru right there. Guaranteed. She's there 5 days a week. You know what I mean? Like,
And you have she's normally in drive-through
people
for
have the routine, man.
nothing more than 4 minutes. So
They
you
know
got
what
from
you
8 to 8:04, and you should get Joanne.
Dude, when my friend Jen first started to come here, when we were working out, when she was working from home, her phone thought that this was her work, and didn't think they thought this is where her job was, because she'd come here like every day at like 10:30, 11 o'clock when she didn't have meetings, and she stayed till like 1 o'clock, and then she'd go back home because she had to shower and get ready to go back on camera. She just worked out her schedule where she was here every day. That the phone knew where her house is, but the most frequent place that she was going besides home was here. She was coming here to work out. It thought this is where she worked.
My whole
Crazy,
thought
man.
my whole
Crazy.
thought about the AI, to be honest with you, is they did that because of the lack of human interaction that we don't want to have with each other.
The text messaging.
You
and
know,
the
yeah. I mean, people have found a way to just enjoy not the interpersonal. Me and you, we'll kick it face to face 3, 4, 5 times a week.
And you know what's really crazy now that you think about it and say that is you don't really even know what to believe anymore when you're watching like videos and stuff because now they have all this AI
Yeah.
technology
Algorithms.
where they can like literally like take me or you
Yeah.
put us in front of a camera
Yeah.
and make our mouth move and do a voiceover that's so clean that you wouldn't be able to tell that it wasn't, and we could just be saying whatever the hell. They could videotape this.
Yeah.
Take it and put a voiceover. Use my exact voice that they take my voice over this whole hour that I'm speaking. Put it into a computer program, and that computer will be able to sound exactly like me,
Yeah.
exactly how I sound,
And say whatever it want to
down,
say.
down to my stutter and everything.
Yeah.
It would predict when I was going to stutter. It would predict the words that I would stutter on, and it would do it too, just to fool you.
Yeah.
And that's why it's really hard when you're looking at something nowadays, like you don't even know what's real and what's not real anymore. It's really scary.
That's a
because
good point, Whitebread.
The information that's available to us is all that we can learn from. But there's a lot of information out there that people aren't willing to look for.
Yeah.
And that's the people go to the easiest available information. And when you go to the easiest available information, it's usually provided by somebody who has an agenda.
Well, you know what I had already told you. You know, to me, all of the technology that they're bringing out is to make us lazy and to dumb us down, you know, as much as possible. How many phone numbers do you actually know by heart out of your phone?
None.
You know what I'm saying? How many
maybe?
How many addresses do you really remember without having to call somebody? How many turns do you actually know in your city to make without needing to use GPS? You know,
I'm a construction worker, so
Yeah.
I know everywhere.
yeah, but I'm just saying, to me, like
The
the
average
people,
person?
yeah, the average person, other than the truckers are the
Now-
only people who know mile markers and know where they are.
Now, when I first moved here,
Yeah, you had the
if I didn't have my
GPS.
GPS,
You'd
I
be
would
lost.
I wouldn't know where.
Well, that right there comes with Charlotte
That
just
was
having
the
some
it
fucked
was
up
just-
ass
it was just
designs for the roads.
Well, it was just me from the Northeast and like not ever being here before and just moving
Yeah.
here and just being like I knew sort of where I was, but I had no idea where I was. Like driving around these roads, like, and you know, sometimes the most around in our area. Well, I'm sure this is like a lot of areas that are similar to North Carolina. The fastest way to get somewhere sometimes is going all back roads.
Yeah,
And man, you can't learn them back roads until you travel them because they all look the same. There's no markers. You'll be driving miles and it's just fields and it's just turns. Like you don't need. There's no markers to go by. There's nothing. Unless you drive it a lot, then you say, okay, well, once I go past this red house, now it's the next turn.
Yeah.
But that next turn might not be for 2 miles.
or this
You
is,
know what I mean?
or,
Like,
or I know where I'm at because he has a Black Angus beef farm up here,
Yeah.
or the chicken coop will be up here on the right.
You might remember a flag that someone has outside
Yeah,
the house or
yeah.
a car or sometimes when you're driving through these farmlands, you'll see like old like farm equipment just like off the side of the
Rusted.
barn or something. There's so much that you really go, oh, is that really the one I saw, or is this busted down barn really the one I saw? Like there's so many out in the country. Like there's a lot of structures that aren't meant
Yeah.
humans shouldn't be inhabiting anymore.
True that.
Out there in the country.
True that. I agree. And
houses
I'm out in the country, so
Houses and barns that have been left behind. So I gotta tell you, if anyone's watching this game, we are taping this during the Clemson and
Kentucky.
game, and Clemson just came back and won. They just got a pick
They blew it.
to seal it. Kentucky was driving down by 3. We were hoping they maybe got tied up, maybe go to overtime. 'Cause
They
was
blew
a
it.
Great game, but
In my Bubba Dub voice, trash.
similar to Donovan McNabb in the Super Bowl, he threw it.
There you
every
go.
game.
The hate is real. You hear me? The hate is real. You know what I'm saying?
But folks, leave some comments. Let us know what you think about this.
And please,
AI and
y'all be careful with this AI.
It's
now.
crazy. It's
And don't
crazy,
take it
folks.
lightly, like White Bread said. This is something that we really need to put on our mind to kind of be aware of, because whether it may affect you or not, because we're getting older.
Yeah.
But guess what? The future is for our kids.
Yeah.
And when the kids are going to look up and have to live in smart cities that is ran by predominantly AI,
Yeah.
then now what?
Yeah.
Go ahead,
We
White
gotta,
Bread.
we gotta see what the future holds.
Yeah.
But
Keep living.
another topic that we're moving on, and like you said, we move from topic to topic, and the topics might have not have anything to do with each other. But this week, there was a string of arrests the last few. Well, it really was between December 18th and 20th, so this is about a week, whatever week
Yeah.
old. But ICE arrested 26 people in the LA area.
Sex offenders.
Sex offenders. So we brought this topic up to me, so I did a little bit of research myself, and I just 2023 isn't over yet, so we'll go by 2022
All right.
Numbers, and what I found was that in 2022, they found that there was about 47,000. We'll just round up; it's like 46.4, but 47,000 criminal aliens in the United States came into the country. 47,000 criminal aliens. Okay, people that they found that they've deported that have criminal records. But they estimated that 2.2 million people came into the country in 2022.
That's a lot of people, y'all.
So 2.2 people is a lot of
2.2
people.
million is a lot.
2.2 million people is equivalent to
The military.
let's see, about we got 340 million people in the country. It's equivalent to about less than it's not 1%. 1% would be 3.3 million. 3.4 million, so it's like less than 1% of the total people that are in the country.
Right.
So 2.2 sounds like a lot of people when you break it down to by how many people are actually here. For less than 1% of the amount of people that are here. So, but my point being was, 2.2 million people is a lot. It's a lot of people.
Right.
But 47,000 of them were criminals, so that comes out to about 2.1%. So 2.1% of every, so 2 out of 100. For the most part,
Yeah.
2 out of every 100 illegal aliens
All up to no good.
are criminals.
They up to no good, y'all. Busted disgusting.
Now,
It can't be
when
trusted.
when you take into fact that the United States has more people in prison than every other civilized country in the whole world, we have an extremely amount of we criminalize a lot of. There's a lot of criminals in the country already, not illegal aliens. Just citizens.
Just criminals,
There's
yeah.
a lot of criminals.
Yeah.
And it's more than 2%.
Right.
Okay, so that we wouldn't be leading the world in incarcerated people if it was just 2%. So there's a lot more percentage-wise just U.S. people that are criminals on just by stats, just going by stats. There's a higher percentage of people in the country already that are legally here
That are up
that
to no
are
good.
criminals than the people that are coming across the border. That's all I'm saying, just by the numbers. Now, am I saying that I agree with 47,000 criminals being here? No, I'm just putting a different little spin on it just to give it by the numbers of people that are here. And what we've already do, how we already incarcerate people at the highest rate of any other, like
We
I said,
do.
any other civilized country.
It's the American way.
One of the things that we lead the world in is we have the highest amount of overweight, malnourished people, and we have the highest percentage of people incarcerated in jail. Those are the only two things that we lead the world in. So we have to shoot for higher standards for ourselves, not just for our leaders, but for ourselves. They make a lot. People talk about this all the time. People talk about, the border is the biggest problem that we have in this country. The border is the biggest problem that we have in this country. I don't see it as the biggest problem. I see it as one of the problems. What are the other 98% of the people doing that aren't criminals? I mean, we just said 2 out of 100 by just going by 2022 numbers where they almost 47,000 and 2.2 million. So what are the other 98% doing? That's what I want to know. Are they contributing to society? Are they doing jobs that people normally wouldn't be doing?
Some of them are,
they
but
working
a lot of them getting a free ride right now in a fancy car
I don't see it
at the taxpayers' expense. Hoping to go ahead on and come here and have a baby real quick so they can at least cement themselves here. Which I understand. And let Wheatbread be the first one to speak for himself to say, I don't have a problem with immigration, but I do with illegal immigration. Because I know, me personally, I could go to the Mexican border, the Canadian border tomorrow. If I try to go in the wrong way, I'm going to jail.
Well, you can drive right across the border.
But I'm saying if I try to enter the country illegally, I'm going to jail. So the same rules should apply here in America. It shouldn't be no in between. Oh, well, where you coming from,
Why, as an American citizen, would you try to enter the country?
I could be,
illegally?
me as a brother living in America, I could say that I feel in fear of my life and that my government is trying to kill me and run to another country seeking asylum. They're not going to give it to me.
Rights.
Yeah, but they're not going to give it to me if I come into their country illegally.
First of all, it's not. First of all, it's all you'd have to do is be. I think all you'd have to do is become a landowner in any country, and you become a citizen. I think you just have to buy.
Fact check that, y'all.
I know that's for sure in Portugal because I'm gonna do it.
Right.
So, but what my biggest problem is what people have a problem at the southern border is like. What is the biggest problem? What is the problem with people from Mexico? Like nobody ever complains about the we there's no emphasis on our northern border. No one cares about people coming from Canada illegally. Like the border wall, the border between Canada and the U.S. is just a gap in the woods.
Yeah.
You're literally walking through the woods, and you walk through a clearing in the woods, and you're going from Canada into the U.S.
If I had to give my honest opinion as far as the Canadian side of it goes, I would like to think that for one, because this country doesn't depict Canada as having people with issues. So but when they talk about Mexicans and they talk about our Hispanic neighbors and our Spanish neighbors, Guatemalans and all of those, they put labels on them to the people here, and
So
the people.
do you think that's right?
No, it's wrong. It's dead wrong.
Well, why
but this is just how the American way is, because America, and I would love to have 1 hour Hispanic people who watching this. I would love to have some of our Iranian followers who watch this. You answer this question. America depicts my people to be the biggest problem in this country. That way, before you get here, they've already made you aware of who public enemy number one is. And so when America does it with other people, like the Hispanics, you have to watch out. They may be MS-13, or they may be this, or like we've had, and I'm not letting Trump out the hook. Trump said that a lot of them come over here, they are killers and rapists and drug dealers.
We said 47,000.
So with that right there being said, we all get fed narratives about people who are just nothing more than people like we are.
You just said a few things, and you said that first of all, you said that they're criminals.
That's what has been said to us.
That's
Right.
the narrative that's
Right.
been spun about people
Right.
coming to the
Okay, go ahead.
southern border.
Yeah.
They're criminals. Mm-hmm. They're rapists. Mm-hmm. They're gang members.
Pedophiles.
The gang members. You just said
Yeah.
MS-13. I've heard that a lot. You hear MS-13 all the time. Okay. Why is it that Ukrainians feel the way that they feel? We talked about this on a previous show. You can go look it up.
Yeah. Roll back the tape.
Why? Then we talked about it. Why do Ukrainians feel the way they feel about people who are darker skinned?
Black people. Say it. Black people.
Why do Ukrainians feel the way that they feel?
Because they've been taught one way about us.
What was the number one movie that they watched?
Man,
Remember we watched about it?
Yeah, Boys in the Hood.
It was Boys in the Hood. Well, that was number one. The number one was New Jack City.
New Jack City.
New
Juice.
Jack City was the number one
In Too
movie
Deep.
that was shown to Ukrainian people to teach them how African American black people are in the United States. New Jack City. Criminals, drug dealers, gang members. Do you see a pattern here, folks?
Man, come on, y'all.
Do you see a pattern here? So what my point being is, if you want to be serious about closing our borders, well then don't just be serious about one border.
Right.
Be serious about both.
Yeah.
All right. Why are we neglecting? If we're really concerned about this, like if this is really a huge problem that we're seeing here, it's such a big problem that it's like Trump said, it's infecting the blood of our country. Like if it's really that serious of a problem, mini Adolf. Then
Hey man, with the shit.
Hitler said the same thing about Jewish people. They were poisoning the blood of
Right.
Germany. He said the same thing.
I got
changed it around and said Mexican people or people who are, they're not all Mexicans. El Salvador, there's a lot of Southern American people coming from dire circumstances. Yes, some of them are running from the law. Well, why do most Americans run down to Mexico? Because they're running from the law.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're just doing the same thing that we do. You know, America doesn't send Mexico all its greatest.
Message.
You know what I mean?
Message.
We go there to visit. We go there on tourist trips. But when usually I would venture to say, a high percentage of people who decide to move from the United States to Mexico are doing so because they're running from the law.
Yeah.
And they know they're not going to get extradited back to the United States.
Unless they fuck up down there.
Unless they fuck up down there.
Yeah.
They take the money that they made from whatever they're being charged with, they're running from here, they go down to Mexico and they live like a rock star. Or they go down to Colombia or El Salvador or Peru or whatever
Honduras.
they go down there and live like a king.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Hey.
No?
No questions from me.
Okay, so my thing is they should just change the policy. We shouldn't have such a problem with people at our southern border who are our allies. It's not like this is like Afghanistan and like Iraq where like Mexico's trying to attack us all the time and we have a hostile environment here. Yeah.
Let me ask you this then. So just for the record, and I know we've talked about it before, like you said, but I'm going to answer my own question first. My question is, do you agree that we should have open borders? I personally feel no.
No one's saying open borders.
But that's what we currently have right now.
We don't.
We have open borders.
That's why we have a border patrol. We do not have
our border is wide open.
A record number. That's false. It's a record number of apprehensions happening at the border. Record number. So to say we have an open border is wrong. Biden just started that app. The Biden administration just started that app where people could apply for asylum on the other side and then wait their turn and come over. And since then, actually, illegal border crossings have gone down. So, I mean, you saying that we have an open border is just not fact. Like, they've had record number of apprehensions at the southern border by our border patrol. But with that being said, we don't have an open border. They made 2.3 million arrests at the southern border. So 2 million people got in, 2.3 million people got arrested at the southern border.
Or sent back home.
Actually, in 2022, they arrested more people than actually got in. So I don't know how you say that it's an open border. That's not an open border. If it was an open border, 4.3 million people would have got in. 2.3 million people would have never been caught. So moving on, we're going to move on. Let us all know what you think about this. Let us all know what you think about the border and why we have such a problem with our southern border and not our northern border. That's
and please, leave the comments down there. We are going to respond.
We are definitely going to respond. We're getting back into it, folks. But now we're going to move on to sports because sports is hot topic right now. The NFL season is coming to a close. Playoffs are about to start. I'm so glad we got back to this before the playoffs started so we could talk about the playoffs. My team's not in the playoffs. You can see my team right there, the Patriots. I had plenty of playoff runs, though. I mean, honestly, the Patriots went to 10 AFC Championship games in a row. I've seen the Patriots play plenty of playoff games. I think Brady won 35 games in the playoffs. Like, I'm good with a couple of years off, to be honest. I can take a whole decade off and be happy because it's stressful when your team is in it. So, especially when your team's expected to win. Like, when your team when Vegas has you as the favorites and you just have the best record, you get the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed and you're expected to win, it's stressful watching those games, boy. So, with that being said, let's see. We got, I can tell you who's at the top. I've been watching this a lot. My fantasy football sports season's over. Unfortunately, I lost last week in the playoffs because Josh Allen is a capital B-I bitch. Capital biggity bitch. And, the coaching staff don't want to throw the ball. And then last week, my boy Brock Purdy didn't help me with all those INTs. Like, that hurt. So, 1 week it was Josh Allen. The next week it was really like the combination of Brock Purdy and Alvin Kamara, which did it to me because Alvin Kamara didn't do anything. So, with that being said, we got some teams that are at the top right now. We got the Ravens, who just came out and bitch slapped the 49ers. And then we got, who else is at the top? The Dolphins. We got the Ravens and the Dolphins, right? Are the 2 top teams right now.
Yeah.
And then the Browns just came out last night and smacked around the Jets.
Shout out Joe Flacco, baby. The resurgence.
Joe Flacco just doing a great job, man. Again, I'm not a Joe Flacco fan. I call him Joe Wacko, but Joe Flacco was sitting on the couch for a little while and can still spin the rock, man. I got to tell you, he's been making some really good throws. I mean,
Man, you get any quarterback a decent team or a
you
good
give him a
team
line and let him
and
sit
got
back
a
there
nice
and run the
little O
ball.
line. Hey, Joe Flacco looked like what he
Flacco-
looked like when they went to the Super Bowl.
Joe Flacco, and they got the defense to get him there. So
Yes, they do.
So the Browns are a scary team. No one
That's
wants
the
to
most
play the
dangerous
Browns.
team to
Nobody
play
wants
in the
to play Browns.
AFC, if you ask me. The same way the Detroit Lions is probably the most dangerous team to
'cause
play
they have
in the
ability to-
NFC because they got nothing to lose.
They have the ability to come out and just play a phenomenal game.
They can score with the best of them. Defense is all right. It's not bad.
If Aiden Hutchinson's getting around your tackle though,
It's a problem.
Disrupts a lot of.
It's a
things.
problem.
They have players who can disrupt the game, so that's
Right.
why they're always dangerous. And the same with the Dolphins. I mean, when you got Tyreek Hill on your team, like you know, I always say it. The playoffs is where great players make great plays. And that's where you become like one of the greats. Like when you make great plays when it really matters. And Tyreek Hill, you know, he's got the chance this year. They got the squad to make a run. So
I just don't see them coming out the AFC.
I don't think so either.
Even with all of the firepower, because their defense, I haven't seen Jalen Ramsey step up to the plate. I know he's coming back off
coming
injury.
back. He's coming
you
back.
know, he's been playing, but you know, I haven't seen him be that impactful player
how
that
about
he's
Buffalo?
been.
What do you think about Buffalo?
Man, trash.
You think they're
Trash.
trash?
Trash, bro. Because Buffalo,
I mean,
in my opinion,
they blew out Dallas.
in my opinion, yes, they did. Now, I had to give them credit for that. But in my opinion, Buffalo is a Vegas team. You know what I'm saying?
I think Josh Allen's is one of those guys that can change a game though. So
If Josh
he
Allen,
has a game
if
plan.
Josh Allen wasn't so busy trying to make sure that people know that he can run and do all of this, you got weapons out there, man.
Well,
you got Gabe Davis.
I've watched
You got
the games.
Diggs.
I've watched the game.
Good
a lot
run
of the
game.
times they have designed runs for him, same as Philly does for Hurts has designed runs.
Your boy run way more than Jalen Hurts do.
Are you wait a minute, hold on.
He runs way more than Jalen Hurts does, man. Jalen Hurts may bust you for a big run if he chooses to run,
Jalen
but
Hurts has like how many rushing touchdowns does
most of his come
Jalen
from the goal line 1 yard.
that's
I'm
what I mean.
speaking of just from the 30 kickoff, starting the drive. Your boy Josh Allen has way more rushing attempts.
Let's see.
You know, so I mean, you know, Josh Allen is straight. I have no problem against him, but you know, you ask me, do I think Buffalo? No. Buffalo will lose to Cleveland if they play Cleveland in the playoffs. That's my opinion.
Do you think the Buffalo Bills are a
Pretender? Yes.
comparable team to Philly?
No.
Why?
We done already took care of that. They ain't on our level.
Why?
They not on our level, you know, for real.
How can you say it? Well, what makes you say that?
Because we done already beat that ass
Do
for
you
one.
score more points than
Yeah,
them?
we done already beat that ass. We outscored them to win the game.
Do you,
Yeah,
I'm
we
not-
outscored them to
outside
win
of
the
that one
game.
I'm talking about the season.
Yeah, for the season, our record says that we're better than Buffalo.
Okay.
Yeah, you know.
I'm talking about
Yeah, you know,
the other
Buffalo.
stuff. You
Hey,
wanna
hey,
put
Buffalo's
it-
struggling to hopefully make it to the playoffs. We in the playoffs. We just trying to
Alright,
see
so-
if we can get number one
All right,
seed.
so this season, just so you know,
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts has 147 rushing attempts.
Okay.
Josh Allen has 85. So you want to retract your previous statement that Josh Allen runs way more than Jalen Hurts?
Well,
Would you at least retract that statement?
Hey, well, maybe I was wrong on the stat, but when you look at most of the games, Josh Allen is doing when he could be throwing the ball to the check down or to the tight end. Dawson, if I'm Dawson or the Kincaid boy, Dawson Knox, I'm pissed because I'm open a lot of the times, and this man would rather get the rock and run it. Or when we get down to the red zone, won't give the running back the touches.
They played 15 games. He's run the ball 85 times.
That's fine.
That's like less than 6 times a game. That's
That's
once per quarter.
That's 85 for the season, but the last 4 to 5 weeks, Josh Allen has been taking over the majority of the rushing when it comes down to possible scoring chances for the running back.
Jalen Hurts has almost double his attempts.
Jalen Hurts gets most of his from the one.
He has more yards.
That man, of course, he gonna get more attempts when we doing the tush push for the first down. That's a rushing attempt.
He has more 20-plus yard runs than
That's
Josh
normally
Allen.
when Jalen Hurts takes off. It has to be
He has
completely
more
wide
touchdowns
open.
than Josh Allen. He
Of
has
course.
everything rushing. He
Of
has more than
course.
Josh Allen. But
Of
you're saying
course.
that Josh Allen runs.
Josh
You
Allen.
make absolutely zero sense,
I'm
man.
saying it. Josh Allen throws the offense off, man. Instead of you handing the rock off, and you got two good quality backs. You got great wide receivers. You supposed to be spinning it. You supposed to be
He is
spinning it.
spinning it. He has more yards than Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
He has more touchdowns than Jalen Hurts.
How many touchdowns he done threw for the season?
27.
How many Jalen Hurts done threw for?
20.
All right. So he barely got it.
No, he has 7 more touchdowns. That's not barely.
So with all of that being said, then why the hell is they struggling to possibly be in the wild card?
What do you mean? They've lost a lot of close games. But I mean, if you go by like the way that they've played this season, as far as the competition that's been laid in front of them, they're having the amount of points that they've scored and the amount of points that their defense has given up. Would be willing to bet it's better than Phillies.
They playing the chili meat circuit. We done played. The Philadelphia Eagles have played probably by far the toughest schedule of the NFL season this year.
Okay.
So
Bills?
so sure, why not?
Dude.
I mean, for real, they ain't played the caliber of competition.
The Bills have scored 403 points, giving up 276.
Who have they played though?
I'm just saying I'm just gonna. We'll get into that. The Eagles have scored 392 less than the Bills and given up more with 366. You guys have only outscored your opponents in 15 games by 26 points.
11-4 there. 11-4, y'all.
2 points per game. Okay, that's less than 2 points per game.
11-4, y'all.
Say you guys get lucky is an understatement. That's just what I see. Now let's go through the. What are we talking about? The Bills.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo Bills.
Trash.
2023. Sure. Okay. Let's go. Let's see. See more. Let's see.
In the words of Major Payne, you'll find my sympathy in the dictionary between shit and syphilis.
They played the Raiders.
Trash.
The Raiders are what?
Trash.
Okay. They played the Dolphins.
Okay. Did they win or lose that game?
They won.
Okay. We beat the Dolphins too, so I'm with
They
you.
beat the Dolphins by
Regardless of how many they won by, they won.
They beat the Dolphins by 28.
All right, they beat the Dolphins.
They beat the Giants.
Okay, we done beat them too. Yeah.
They beat the Buccaneers.
We ain't gonna play them. They ain't want to get on the chopping block.
They played the
Trash though. The Bucks trash.
They played the Broncos.
Trash. You beat the Broncos, especially when they were. Yeah, but they were struggling. They lost 5 in a row to start the season off.
The Broncos are
Yeah, but they still trash. I'm with you though. Come on.
They played the Eagles.
Lost. Yeah.
They played Dallas.
Yeah, they beat their ass. Trash. Dallas trash. You know how to do it to my Dallas fans, even though Dallas is a good team.
They
So
played the Jets.
yeah, we lost to the Jets, but they still
They
trash.
played the Commanders.
Trash.
You guys played the Commanders twice.
Yeah, and we beat them.
You guys played them twice though, so you
Yeah.
guys play a trash team twice.
They in our
team.
division. We don't want to talk about
played the
their
Giants.
division that they had to beat up on.
Who?
Yeah, so
They got the Dolphins and the Jets and the Pats.
and y'all, and so y'all ain't been shit this year, nor the Jets ain't been shit this year. So
And the
come on.
Bills and the Pats and the Jets collectively have a better record than the Giants and the Commanders, but we're not going to talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
They played the Jags.
Okay, all right, team.
They
I
played
ain't gonna
the
call them
Patriots.
trash.
They played
Trash.
the Bengals.
Well, without Joe Burrow, they trash.
They played the Jets. They played the Jets again.
Yep.
They played the Chiefs. They played the Chargers.
Trash.
And now they're going to play the Dolphins again.
Yeah,
And they're going to play us again, and then they're going to play the Dolphins to end the season.
And they got the
saying
Dolphins. They got
the
the
trash record is insane because considering they played every team that you guys play,
yeah.
and they've had to play the Dolphins twice, and they had to play the Jets twice, which the Jets.
Well, we had to play the Cowboys twice.
Yeah, but you guys are saying that who they've played is trash. They played
They
a
played.
lot of playoff teams, man.
Hey,
The Jags are a playoff team. The Chiefs.
the Jags were not. The Jags ain't making the playoffs this year.
They're right now.
They ain't making the playoffs
now,
this year. Houston is going to win the division.
Right now, they're in the playoffs.
Their ass ain't making it. Sunshine hurt too. They through.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You saying they a playoff team? They ass ain't making the playoffs.
Okay, so who do you think the Eagles are gonna have to play in the first round of the playoffs?
Man, we may end up flopping Seattle. We'll get our revenge. We'll be on the revenge playoff run.
So you guys they're gonna have Geno back. You guys lost to Seattle with
Drew Lock.
So
Yeah.
the odds of you winning.
Oh, we gonna run through their ass in the playoffs.
Okay.
I got 20 on every game that we play, White Bread.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how much I believe.
I mean, well,
Yeah.
you bet me 20 that they're gonna win the Super Bowl then.
I got to make it to the Super Bowl first.
You just said you bet 20 on each
I said
game.
every game that we play, we may not
Well,
make it
if
to the
you're-
Super
if
Bowl.
you're so confident-
We might get fluked
If
out.
you're so confident to bet $20 on every game.
If we make it to the
Wouldn't it make
Super Bowl,
sense-
then I
wouldn't it
would
make
bet you
sense-
$20 that we win the
wouldn't it
Super
make
Bowl.
sense to bet
But I want
$20?
to get as much money out your pocket as I can.
Okay.
Yeah, we gonna go game by game.
Okay. We'll see.
Yeah, if you that confident, then take Arizona this week.
I told you I'll take Arizona and you take Washington against.
I'll take Buffalo against your team. You playing Buffalo,
I'm
right?
not trying to bet. I don't say that my team's good. I
Yeah.
said that we not.
Yeah, we betting on our squads.
I never said.
We betting on our teams, right?
Okay.
Bet on your team like I'm betting on mine. You a Pats fan?
I'm not betting. I'm not saying that my team's not making the playoffs, bro. You're just hurt because you know your 20th ranked defense. You guys are gonna be one and done. It's
Hey,
cool.
when
You
he
guys will be
when
one
he
and done.
finished talking,
Another
y'all,
disappointing year for Philly fans.
we will see you all in the playoffs.
Another disappointing year for Philly fans.
Call it what you
So
want.
it's a lot of hype and no
Yeah.
delivery.
Yeah, I know y'all selling out. Y'all trying to sell out for the number one
You guys
pick in the
had
draft.
You guys had a luck up
Trash.
to win the only one you guys won. The guy was out of bounds, clearly.
We lucked up, huh? Wow, I heard that.
Definitely lucked up.
Hey, well, here's
The
to luck,
only-
y'all.
with
Hey,
the only sole.
here's to luck. I
with
drink
the
to that.
sole Super Bowl victory you guys have had in your whole history of busted ass franchise.
Yeah, okay. Call it what you want. It's still a $1 billion franchise, baby.
Busted ass franchise.
The hate is real, y'all.
Busted ass franchise.
The hate is real. Hate,
Tom Brady has
hate.
as much NFC has as many Super Bowl wins out of the NFC playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for 2 seasons.
We're not
as
talking
Philly-
about nobody
as
who
Philly
is
has
retired.
for the entire
We're talking
history
about
of the
current
franchise.
players who are playing. You want to talk about a retired player?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You know.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers have
So,
more Super Bowl wins. In
when
the
you
NFC.
finish talking.
Hold on. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have as many Super Bowl wins.
Yeah.
They have more now. They have
Yeah,
two. They have two now. Philly still only got one.
Yeah.
But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Don't worry, we working on it.
The Tampa Bay.
Yeah, don't worry. We working on our second one, our second NFL. We got multiple championship rings.
No, they got
yeah,
NFL rings.
yeah. Don't worry. It still was the American Football League.
It wasn't the
Yeah,
NFL.
yeah. So don't
It
worry.
was the minor leagues. Bro.
You know, yeah. No, that was the only league.
Keep all your minor
You
league
know,
trophies, bro.
yeah, that was the only league where New England was still trash in the AFL.
All your minor league trophies.
Yeah, I can't help. He's still living in fantasy about what happened in the past. We talking about the present. Yeah, I see you in the playoffs, White Bread. If I forgot y'all ain't making it. So you know you have a team to root
Stop.
for.
All right, stop.
Yeah, go Eagles, baby.
Now that I got you triggered about Philly, now that I got you
Go
triggered-
Eagles, baby.
Now that I got you triggered about Philly and they're not winning the Super Bowl, and you clearly don't think they're gonna win it either because you won't bet on it.
I want you to make the bet. You bet on your team. I'm gonna bet on my team. We got a couple more weeks, and you got the playoffs.
If you want to,
Yeah, I want you to go week by week with me. I want that bread out your pockets. Since you hate us so much and you feel like we gonna lose,
$60 then we'll do all 3 bets at once.
no,
We'll do $60.
I'm going week by week because when you lose the first round of the playoffs, you may double up the following week.
Philly's gonna be a wild card.
Yeah.
They gotta win 4 games. So we'll do $80 that Philly's gonna win the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. If you feel that confident about it, that's the bet that I'm
I bet you there we go.
You win the Super
I
Bowl.
bet you there we go.
You,
I don't know who we gonna play.
I'm not trying to change
I don't know who we gonna play because it is a couple teams in the AFC that does scare me.
I offered you a bet.
I bet you that we go. If you're saying that we're not gonna even make the Super Bowl,
No.
you said you said San Francisco gonna come out the NFC. So
That's not what we're talking.
bet that we don't go.
We're not talking about.
All right then. So tell him quit until
deflect. Don't
until he ready to bet on his squad.
$80. Philly's gonna win.
When he finished talking,
$80. Philly's gonna win the Super Bowl.
man,
Yes,
we
sir.
gonna go $80 a game.
$80.
Yeah.
Philly's gonna win.
So when we play San Francisco, bet me $80.
I'm talking about right now,
Yeah.
before the playoffs start.
No, we gonna go game by game. Injuries happen. Injuries happen, cuz. Let me see what my team look like by the time we make it. We got injuries on the team. My secondary is not 100. My D line ain't 100.
Your secondary is not 100 because the players that you have suck.
Man, hell no, man. Darius Slay hurt.
He ain't hurt.
He been hurt, cuz. What is you saying?
You got more excuses.
He didn't even play last time. Come on, man.
Excuses than a pregnant nun, bro.
Man. They tell that man quit hating, y'all. The hate is real, y'all. This is what I had to go through, y'all. This is what I had to go through, y'all.
With that being said, I'm not taking Philly to come out of the NFC.
Yeah, I know you ain't.
I think they're like the third or fourth most likely team to come out of the NFC.
So who your first team to come out?
The most likely team to come out of the NFC.
San Francisco.
San Fran.
Oh, okay.
I think the second most likely team to come out of the NFC
would be who? Dallas?
No.
You taking Seattle?
I don't think Dallas has got.
You know who you taking? Detroit? You know.
The Lions. It's like there's a lot of like inconsistent play. Now, we talked about this off the air. If the Lions show up to play, they're gonna show up. They're gonna show up to play.
But Detroit struggle with everybody. They just like us did in White Bread.
They
you know, since you want to say look. Yeah, because I have seen they ass have to come back. Yeah. Don't be mad because Brock Purdy lost to Lamar Jackson.
Again,
you know.
mad because Hurts lost to Brock.
It's all right. We 1-1. I sent you a stat when you tried to say how much better Brock Purdy was than Jalen Hurts. They have Jalen Hurts by far by the numbers. Hey, it's better than Brock Purdy.
Again, because it's total yards. So
man, we talking period. Quarterback play.
Rushing yards.
No, they had passing, rushing, throwing touchdown. Yeah. It was all of it. A QB percentage, everything. So don't.
Brock Purdy is.
We ain't got to talk about. I'm gonna pull it up for White Bread since he got selective amnesia, y'all. You know, because this is what I have to do over here. But I'm gonna defend my squad. Yeah.
What stat did they come up with that rates how you play as a?
Where's my stat is?
What formula have they come up with to say that
go to my
how you're
page
playing
right quick,
as
y'all.
a quarterback?
Yeah, let's go to my page, y'all. We got to pull this up.
Right here.
No, I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that.
Versus Jalen Hurts. Here's the passing. Brock Purdy higher completion, more yards per attempt, more touchdowns, less picks, and has been sacked less. The only thing Jalen Hurts is better at is he has more attempts and he has everything rushing.
When he finished hating over
That's
here.
it.
He hating y'all.
I'm not hating. Look at the numbers.
He be quick to hate,
I'm
I've never seen in my life, y'all, a particular person who roots so hard for his team, but when he don't talk about his team while they losing, but he gonna jump to San Francisco, let him ride, he gonna die. He gonna die with them 40 whiners, baby. He gonna die with them boys.
We talking about Brock Purdy.
I hope and pray to God that we meet him in the playoffs, so that way we can break that 1-1 tie. Cause you act like Brock Purdy owned Philadelphia. You act like Brock Purdy and San Fran own Philly, and they don't. They won one game the same way we beat the shit out of them to go to the Super Bowl.
You didn't beat the shit out of them.
We beat the shit out of them in the Super Bowl. Hey, we knocked out 2 quarterbacks in one game.
They had Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, that's what you call defense, bro. Yeah, and we're going to be on their head like a toilet seat this year.
I didn't see that defense. Yeah. San Fran scored six straight
I know you ain't looking for our defense. You looking
6 straight touchdowns.
You looking for everything that throws up doubt.
Defense.
I already know you can't win them all. I told y'all on tape before the season started, we going to lose 3 to 4 games. And that's it. And we lost 4 games thus far, and we ain't losing no more.
This says right here. Purdy clearly is a better passer than Hurts. Just look at their passing stats.
Yeah, I got you.
And like you said, most of Jalen Hurts' touchdowns come from the 1-yard tush push. So I didn't even want to hear that. As
Let
like
me.
a thing
Hold
that
up,
makes him
hold
great.
up.
He
There it
gets a lot
is.
of 1 yard.
There it go right there. There it go right
Yeah.
there. Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts record 11-4 apiece, right? Total yards. Brock Purdy 4190. Jalen Hurts 4212.
Because it's taking.
Hold up.
rushing yards.
Total TDs 31 for Purdy, 35 for Hurts. Total interceptions 11 for Brock Purdy, 13 for Jalen Hurts. Game winning drives 0 for Brock Purdy, 4 for Jalen Hurts. The man a baller and your boy don't weigh up.
Are we talking about?
We done already showed that when
Crazy, bro.
we done already showed that when the game on the line, Brock Purdy is gonna blow up. If their ass don't have the lead starting off, if San Francisco cannot play without the lead,
Okay.
and if their ass get down like they did to Baltimore, they through. They through, baby.
All right, cool. You guys aren't.
Go Eagles.
You guys aren't Baltimore clearly because I'll remind you again. 49ers pimp smacked you at home
We the only team out the
At
NFC
home.
that can beat Baltimore.
in Philly.
You hearing it here on record. Dallas can't beat them. Detroit can't beat them. 49ers can't beat them. The Eagles are the only team that can beat them folks in the
I
playoffs.
gotta get prop. This is what my boy Brock did when he went to Philly. Went to Lincoln Financial. He pulled it right out and smacked Jalen Hurts with it. Smacked him.
That's what he did.
Smacked him with it.
I heard that. I'm going to shout out Las Vegas on why we been looking so bad.
Smacked 'em.
They need us to lose a
Just-
couple games
hey,
to help these quarterbacks look good.
Listen
You know.
to that. Just like
You know.
Trump. It's
So-
everybody else's fault. It's everybody else's fault.
So for everybody who watching this today,
Swiss cheese
you
defense.
answer me this in the comments.
Swiss cheese defense.
Has the Eagles, yes or no, has the Eagles been the best team in the NFL the last 2 seasons?
No.
Okay. Say less.
They weren't the champion last year, so you weren't.
I just said, have we been the best team in the NFL? Whether we was able to cash it out and close it out, yeah, we lost. Okay. But we still been the measuring stick for success in the NFL.
You came in second place. How was that the measuring stick?
All right. We
That's
came in second. Hey, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my opinion. The same way you wish you could have something to say this year about New England, but you can't. So you might as well pump your brakes.
It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it bothers you. It bothers you.
You think it does. You think it does. I got 6 Super Bowl rings. You barely got one. You
Don't
got
worry.
me on one.
Don't worry. We working on our second one, White
We'll
Bread.
see you next week, folks.
Go Eagles. Y'all be safe out there. Happy New Year.
Hurts is trash.
Happy New Year, and y'all be safe out there.
Yep.
And please, please,
Everybody.
please, stop the violence. Please.
Let's just learn to love each other.
Why
Except
not?
for Philly fans.
I love you, White Bread.
All right.
Go Eagles.
Bye.